Hello, good evening. Hello.
And now we're ready.
We
We're
are
going.
2 minutes late. If we were in a dressage show, we would be eliminated.
Eliminated. I thought there was, you know what? They stopped the clock the other day for somebody. They were going to be
Yeah.
late.
And
you were there. Remember we saw the Grand Prix and they were going to be late and they
Yeah.
just stopped the clock and they
But
let it fly.
there was at like a big show in Amsterdam, and Becky Moody on that Jagerbomb horse.
Yeah.
She was late going in, and they took away 2 percentage points. It cost her the win. She would have beat Catherine Dufour.
2 percentage points.
Yeah.
That's huge.
So, fun fact, after the judge rings the bell, you
Move.
have
45
seconds, which is
Move.
like about, like, it's not enough time to get
It's
all
not
the
all
way
the way
around.
around, no. It's not all the
Like
way
halfway around.
Right. So wherever you are, you need to turn and head back.
So, anyways, we're half watching our dog. We're trying to potty train.
Amelia got herself a new dog.
It's our dog.
Yes, dear.
And I'm trying to potty train him. So it's a process. So anyways, hi Hannah, hi Molly, hi Lori, hi Cindy.
Hannah, I saw clean changes, so congratulations.
Yes, Hannah, you had a beautiful flying change, which I showed her on, which is a process. It's a process with all these horses. So this is my whiteboard for tonight. Mostly we are talking about cantering.
Do you want to lose that whiteboard? She's chewing it.
It's fine.
Okay.
The Canter challenge is coming up in May. May is the 30-day
April, May. We're almost in April.
So, like 5 weeks away.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be an epic, exciting month. We do have a new PDF, which is 5 exercises to do before you canter. So if you haven't downloaded that yet, the link is above or below. What are some exercises we should do before we canter, besides watch the dog?
Simple changes and counter canter.
No, not flying changes, just before you canter.
Oh, trot halt.
Okay.
Trot walk.
Okay. What else? Bend, turn, sitting trot.
Oh, yes, but I thought you meant specifically for the canter. Those exercises I do just in a general way for elasticity and suppleness. If I'm thinking, okay, I want to go make a canter transition now on a circle, so I'll go trot, walk 4 steps, trot, walk 4 steps, trot, walk 4 steps, trot, and go.
That's a good one. I like that one.
I thought you meant, like, what do I do to prepare to set up for that canter? Instead of what you just described, which I would have thought is more of a general, all-around, purposeful, this makes your horse better exercise.
But basically, the better your trot, the better your canter will be. And so, you know, if you're not currently cantering, we do have a lot to help you inside of the Canter Challenge if you're not currently cantering. But the better your basics, the better the canter will be. And it's important with the canter to have good experiences in canter, because having a bad experience, like for you or for your horse, is
really turns one off of the canter.
Yes.
Makes one less willing or wanting to try the canter.
Yes. So.
Yes,
anyways.
Small circles are good. The trot faster. Yes, we just be careful about when we say faster, but yes, absolutely trot faster. And which one of us speaks French?
None of us. Apparently, she doesn't understand. We don't speak French. Anyways, so last week I did the Facebook Live from the horse show. I was at the horse show, which was kind of fun because we had Kensington was there and Messi was there. And so we were live from the horse show. So the horse show was good. Kensington was a very good boy. I was super proud of him because I've had Kensington since he was 5. He's 10 this year. Can you believe I've had him for 5 years?
Yeah, because somebody asked me, Julie asked me how old he was.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I was really struggling. And I think he's 10 this year.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you remember the first, when he was a 5-year-old, we took him to that showgrounds in Del Mar, and he got like really spooked at the letter X, like the footprints of all the horses halting.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get him down the center line. Do you remember that? He was all like freaked out and running backwards and just like had a panic attack. And I was showing training level, and I was like, how am I ever going to get him down the center line? Like, I was totally stressed out about it.
It's just temporary.
Right.
I mean, it's a huge problem in the moment, but
5 years later.
Right. 5 years later, congratulations on a super win.
Yeah, he's.
Thank you, Stacy.
He's like going in there. They have like an indoor arena, where the CDI is, like the big show is. And then right next to the competition arena is the warm-up arena. And Kensington doesn't really like other horses being near him. So it was like a challenging warm-up for Kensington. You can see the dog in the background.
It was just like worried that he's tearing apart things. Okay.
He's okay. So anyways, I was really proud of how well he did. A couple of things, takeaways from the horse show. Let me know in the chat which one of you guys, if you are showing this year, yes or no, planning on showing this year. But a couple of takeaways. Number one is when you're at the horse show, make sure to follow your format. Do the same warm up and kind of the same routine that you do at home. I think that that's really important because
I have a funny story.
Yeah, tell your story. I'm gonna get the dog so he doesn't.
Right, things are going south. So I was one of my trainers many moons ago, and I was just starting to ride and go to horse shows, and he says, "Well, yeah, you have a plan." And then, you go to the warm up and you see somebody doing something and you go, "Oh, well, that looks like a good idea." And you see somebody else go and you go, "Well, that's a good idea." And then you start doing that. And he just said,
Yes.
Stick to your plan. He just said, stick to your plan. I remember that.
Or I made the mistake with Kensington when he was 7 in Chicago. And Kensington kind of like hyperventilates. Like he doesn't breathe very well and he has really big movement. And so I warmed him up way too much. And by the time I went in the show ring, he was like heaving.
He was just gassed.
And it was not a good idea. So now I know, and I really focused on at the horse show, like giving him a lot of long walk breaks, like doing little short segments and lots of walk, which is more like what I do at home, so that he doesn't start like, I mean, it's weird with him, right? Because he's fit and he's super muscular, but he just breathes heavy.
He breathes short.
Yeah.
He doesn't take long, deep breaths. He takes short breaths.
So anyways, my third tip is to visualize your test. So that's something at the horse show. I do it like several times when I'm laying in bed before I go to bed each night. I do it in the morning, and then I do it like an hour before I get on my horse, is I like take 10 minutes to go through my test.
I sit on a chair before I ride. I'm dressed, but I give myself enough time to get dressed and sit. This is in the ideal world. Sometimes things go wrong and there's no warm up. You fly on your horse and go down the test. I've had those days too. But if I can do it my way, I'm dressed, and before I ride, I'm sitting in a chair, and my eyes are closed, and I trace the test on my thigh with my finger. So I go through the test, and I see it, and I move my finger like I'm moving through space. Anyway,
I just write it in my mind.
I trace it.
But you really want to think about like every transition and every movement and how that's going to feel, because you don't want to ride your test like 500 times because that would not be nice for your horse. But you do want to practice it 500 times in your mind, like literally.
Like what you're going to do, what your body's like in the corner, what you're looking at, all those things.
And the other thing that I did leading up to this show is I went back and I watched myself like doing tests in the past, like old shows. I watched clinics of getting taught or like old lessons that I had, because it's kind of like studying, you like study up and you remember, oh yeah, like I need to bend him more to the left and I need to keep my legs more forward. And so the more that you can study without exhausting your horse, that's what's hard about showing, is like you can't really cram for the show in the sense that you can't ride your horse for like 8 hours before the horse show, but you can study and visualize and do that type of thing.
Yes, well, we've discovered that Hannah's very smart because she does what I do. She says she traces it too. And then we've got a couple of people going to the show. One's doing the Western dressage.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they scrolled away, but then someone's going to go show on Saturday as well.
Oh,
so congratulations and good luck.
Yes. Showing is...
It's a whole, it's not horseback riding, it's showing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a horse and you're riding it, but it's a horse show.
But I think what I like about showing is that it's like a measure of your journey with your horse. And I think it's important to remember that that's all it is. You can't really compare yourself to the other horses or the other people in your class, but it is like that that consistent day in and day out training that you have to love the training. And then the showing is like a measure of that. And one thing that I tried to do at this horse show was to just feel like happy and proud of my horse, of how far we've come and everything that he's learned. And I think that when you have that attitude going into a show, it, for one, it helps you perform better, but it also puts things into perspective. Like, just thinking like, I could barely get Kensington down the center line. So, how cool is it that we can
Things have improved.
Yeah, things have improved.
Things have improved.
And sometimes like day to day things don't improve, right? Like it might feel like you're getting worse or things aren't getting better, but then when you look back at years ago, they have improved. So.
And I like singing, and I don't know, I know the ABC song. Was that from the Jackson 5, maybe? But I sing a lot. I sing a lot, and I'm a terrible singer, and I listen to punk rock and heavy metal, but I still sing it. And my horse has calmed down because there's a rhythm to it. There's still a rhythm to it.
Everyone wants to see the
There was one woman asked twice about how to gain confidence in the canter. For those of you that are chatting, I'm sure you have a lot of experience with that on how to get comfortable with the canter. I got lunged a lot. When I started taking horseback riding a little more seriously and got some lessons, I think I was 15, and I got lunged. I got lunged every day. No stirrups, no reins, and they walk, trot, canter, and I put my hands on my hips, I put my hands out in front of me, and that gave me a lot of confidence in my seat. I think if you're going to learn it at an older age, when you're not a kid and you just absorb things, that you need to take a lot of little baby steps and set up a situation where you're comfortable. And when you're going to go make the canter, probably on a circle. And if it doesn't happen right away, just kind of go easy, because if your heart is in your throat, it's not going to go well.
And so what we've done.
Oh, see, there it is. How can I get more confidence in the canter?
Yeah. But so kind of what we've done for the canter challenge coming up is that we've a little bit divided it for like people that aren't cantering yet versus people that are cantering. So it is going to support both things. So if you're like needing to get more confidence, if you don't know how to ask for the canter, if you don't know how to prepare your horse, are you ready to canter? The first part of the canter challenge is all about that, like all the prerequisites, getting yourself ready, safety first. And then the second part is like the transition and how to ask and the exercises. Because the thing that's hard about the canter is
the first step, because you go big.
But I also think it's hard because no horse is born with like a perfectly round and balanced canter. Like,
right.
It's something that we have to train them. And it's also like we're not born knowing how to canter or how to ask for the canter.
So obviously learning how on a horse that already knows how to canter, like I got lunged, Hannah did vaulting, but I learned on a horse who already knew how to canter, because I didn't know how to move my hips or put my legs in the right place.
Yeah.
The horse showed me how to do that. So if you don't know how to canter and you're on a young horse, that'll be tricky.
Yeah. But anyways, we have lots coming up about the canter challenge. Other things on my list from the horse show. We had a great time watching the Grand Prix on Saturday morning and watching Canter ride. What did you think of Canter's riding? He's
impeccable. I mean, the position and everything, and just the softness and the ease.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It's just, you're in awe. You watch that and you just go, wow.
Yeah. We were watching the warm up, and I showed the video actually for the people in Rider Position Blueprint, but it was just like, his hands
were just perfectly there. The legs are just there.
Yeah. It like his rider position is just amazing. And
the flexibility, the stability.
Yeah, the connection with this horse. And I think that that's really a good thing, is if you can be around riders that you admire and watch them ride and watch them train their horses, that makes you better so fast. So that's part of why I like going down to the shows. I like watching the warm up, and I like, picking out like who are the riders that I like, and then really taking the time to watch them, I think is super helpful. Other thing that we did exciting is we did a live ride from the barn for strides, and it actually worked.
Right.
which was like a small miracle.
What's the machine?
Starlink.
Starlink is the machine.
Yes. So we got a Starlink, which is a satellite Wi-Fi, so that we can do live sessions from the barn. And I got a new horse. His name is Mick. So I rode him on the live session, and Herman taught me, which was fun.
Well, I taught a little bit and explained a little bit.
Yeah. Nicole said that you were very hard on me.
I'm hard on everyone. That's how I teach. In case you guys were hoping I'd come by your place, I was nice once, and it made me feel so bad that I never did that again.
I don't think that's true. No, it was not a horse that came from Europe. All the horses I tried in Europe didn't vet. Okay. Questions. Autumn says, any good tips or tricks to help relax hip muscles? I struggle with turning them off, especially after I've engaged them. Specifically, putting my leg back to ask for the canter. I find myself wanting to tip forward. Okay, how do you relax your hip muscles?
In the usual way?
Yeah. Breathing.
For me,
breathing helps.
The breathing is everything. I try to make sure that I'm, what do you call it? When I just call it a good posture. You say neural spine?
What?
Something about your spine.
Neutral spine.
Neutral spine. I just think about having good posture and breathing in a good posture. And so that when I breathe, I just, like a shirt on a hanger, my body just hangs on my skeleton. I'm not forcing it to stay like that.
Yeah. I do think breathing is like such a basic, it's such a basic thing, and yet it's so helpful because so many of us over try, and then you hold yourself and you stop breathing, and then everything goes bad. So I think breathing is really good. Okay, Kelly.
I was teaching a lesson today, and she came out of the canter, she got to the trot, and it's looking fantastic. The horse is round and it's forward. And then I noticed 15 meters, 20 meters into it, it's starting to go away. And I'm like, are you breathing? She goes, no, I forgot. So as it went along, the horse just got stiffer and stiffer because she was running out of oxygen. So I just thought that was a funny little bit.
Yes.
Sorry.
Don't forget to breathe.
Yeah, I'll be quiet now. Continue.
Good eye. Good eye. Okay. So Kelly says she has trouble keeping her horse going in the canter. Her horse wants to have her leg really far back. If I just relax, she breaks. If I hold the position, it causes tightness and I can't fall off my seat. So where exactly do you put your leg? How much pressure? And how do you keep your horse going forward?
So Conrad says it a lot. You cuddle with your leg, right? You hug with your leg. But even in that, you still have to, then depending on the horse, some just a squeeze. Some you've got to like clap your hamstring. You clap your calves on them. You kind of just clap your calves, but then they still have to hang. The book says that you feel that horse's hair through your boot. So your leg is near, it doesn't really want to come off because when it comes off, then it surprises them. So it's there and it's got to have this slap. But the other thing about relaxing is if you relax and let your hands come forward, now your horse is going to fall out of the canter because the balance is pretty precarious anyway. And so then if you go, oh, we all, there's unicorns and rainbows, and then you let go of the rein and the horse stumbles into the trot. So you have to have the positive tension in the rein. It's about a positive tension, really.
With your aids.
With your aids. Because no aids, there's no guidance, and then the horse really doesn't know what to do, and they lose their balance. And they're going at the canter, that needs a bit of tempo and speed, right? And so if the reins disappear, the horse falls on his face and then breaks to the trot. So yeah, it's difficult. Yeah. You have to, the driving aids, the containing aids, not getting tight with your body and not giving it away either. And that's time and miles. It's about feel. And, if you want to learn how to canter, you have to canter. And sometimes you're going to fall out of the canter. And sometimes the horse is going to go fast.
Yeah. That was a good explanation. I liked your explanation of how to use your legs. But it's like all about the timing and the aids, and some of it's experimenting and like making mistakes, letting your horse break and then saying, oh, okay, get in
Okay, I
front of
need
my
more of
leg.
this or a little bit of that.
Yeah. And then I think also it's about refining. Like you're always refining the aids. Like for Kensington, for example, I've been riding him for 5 years, right? But I'm still always working on like refining the canter aid so that it's like more and more subtle, so that he stays through, so that he reacts right on my aid, so that he stays straighter. Like it's at first it's just like get your horse to canter, but then the
Right, and
refinement
to your point,
continues.
when you have to do your clappy leg, right, and get that jump, you're going to sacrifice some relaxation and some submission at that point because you just make that hind leg snap. Now you've got that hind leg snap and the eyes are bugged and the ears are up and you're like, okay, now let's calm down and stay here in a supple way. And yes, Cindy, absolutely, you have to follow the head movement. Otherwise, the energy won't cycle through.
You want to follow the oscillation of
that nod,
yeah. But you don't want to, like, if your horse just roots or pulls the head away, you don't want to follow that.
You're not going to follow. That you've got to put a boundary to. Also, like if the horse wants to put its head up, you don't want to raise your hands up with the horse's head up because then they just stay hollow in the back. So it's what Amelia said. You want to follow the oscillation.
Okay, how do we set ourselves up for a nice transition that doesn't feel like we're freight training into it? My boy is heavy on the forehand, getting better with ladder work. So that's one thing in the Canter challenge. I put like all of our favorite exercises and patterns to set up for the Canter transition, because I think that you do have to be smart when you ask for the canter. Like asking for the canter when you're going straight down the long side is like the worst place to ask for the canter.
That's a big ask. Because if the horse doesn't know the transition and you do it there, which by the way, if you look at the tests and the way the tests are written, right, in training level, all those transitions are done on a circle. It's not until you get to first level that you're going to do that across the diagonal.
Yes, but the better that you can like set your horse up, and also you need to, as a rider, you need to start to feel the moment that your horse is ready to canter and ask in that moment. Like on a more trained horse, it's like, okay, I'm cantering at A. But on a green horse or a baby horse, you're like trotting around, waiting to feel like, oh, my horse
some
is
horses
ready.
do. Some horses let you know that they want to canter, and those you just go with it and they offer it. The other ones, Hannah wrote that one, leg yield into the canter. I do that one a lot, and it was really helpful for one of my clients recently. And it's not the one that I do because I like my ice cream cones into the 20-meter circle depart. But that is helpful for her. So, we all have the things we like.
Yeah. Okay, one more question. This is going to be a question that you will like to answer. My horse leans on the left rein always. On the left lead, he doesn't take the right rein. But he's hollow to the right and wants to look right. Okay, so he's hollow right and wants to look right, leaning on the left rein.
Right, that would make sense because if he's bent right, he's falling left.
I can't get true bend on the left lead canter. Any tips?
Artificially connect him to that right side. Take up some of that slack in the right rein, and even if he stays counter bent, and then whilst holding that right rein, start to position him left and then let go left, because he needs to hold the rein he doesn't want.
Right, and you also have to use your left leg is very important. Your left leg has to be what pushes him into the right rein. Because the reason he's heavy left is that the whole body is leaning to the left.
Right, his weight isn't even on all four legs.
So you've got to use your left leg to push him into the right rein.
So spiraling circles, ascending and descending circles. The leg yield over.
Yeah, turn on the forehand at the walk.
Yes.
Or groundwork too. I always do a lot of groundwork. I thought you had a long line. You knew how to long line.
Yeah, I've done it before.
But I encourage you to long line because it is so helpful, isn't it?
And I did it to Hattie asked me to do that for her horse this morning. I was like, I'm ready. And I did, and actually, I just turned him with the long lines too, because the way I had set it up, I could just walk him straight and turn him with the reins and stuff.
It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that like groundwork and long lining and all that stuff it's such a useful tool. I mean, because you can actually like visually see your horse and you can see what the hind legs are doing, but it's definitely a skill, like everything, it's a skill that you have to develop and practice so you're not stepping on the long lines and tripping over yourself, and so that your horse understands what's going on and all of that. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed our Thursday night podcast. Don't forget to download the new PDF, which is the 5 exercises to get you ready for the Canter. And we're very much looking forward to Canter Challenge. Like I mentioned, there's we're going to have a Trotter's Cup for those of you who are just like trotting, but really want to get your trot better. So you're ready to canter. We're going to have a Canter Cup. We're going to have prize money. We're going to do live trainings. Maybe we'll do a live ride from the barn. That'll be fun.
Yeah, now that we've got the
Starlink
working solved.
And
let's not get carried away. We had it work 1 out of 4 times, so
well, it's better than 0. And the challenges are always just so much fun, like so exciting. Everyone working hard, and spring is here. Like it's so exciting that it's 6:30 and there's
still some daylight.
Yeah, it's still light outside. So Barbara says nighty night, Messy. Yes, he's finally gone to sleep, but we have to go outside soon. Say good night, Messy. He's like sleeping.
Look at that face. He's like, what is going on? Why is it so bright now?
All right.